Oh, hey guys, welcome to the WAG Station. I'm your OCO Data Genzi himself. And well, since I know that I'm in a... I can do whatever I want! I can eat whenever I want and I won't ever get full. Wait, is that a good thing? I can get an imaginary girlfriend. Because that's never happened to you for real, you can't mentally imagine that. Son of a bitch. This is Sonic 3D Blast. It was released on the Sega Genesis in November of 1996 here in North America. And it was pretty impressive for its time, at least the Genesis version. Yeah, there was later versions of Sonic 3D Blast, like a Sega Saturn version and a PC release. But anyways, it was pretty impressive for its time, as it has an entire opening cutscene. Sure, it's a really crap resolution, but it's on the Sega Genesis by itself without the Sega CD. It's really freaking crazy, not gonna lie. So now that that cool thing happened, what do you do in this game? You first experience everything in an isometric 3D perspective, kind of like drawing cubes on a dot paper. It sucks for landing your jumps, but I got used to it over time. Now anyways, you defeat robots and save birds out of them. And you don't just save 5 birds on their own. No, that's just the first part of a stage. You have to save another 5 birds, or sometimes another 5 birds on top of that. And this would be a cool idea, but it just makes the stages feel empty, not having that many robots to defeat. But along with that, there's also different shields in this game, just like Sonic 3 Knuckles. Not really as cool as Sonic 3 Knuckles though. Like, we have the blue shield back, and then the only shield to return from Sonic 3 is the fire shield, and there's not even any original special abilities other than being immune to fire, which kind of sucks. But there's also this new shield that's yellow that actually makes Sonic have a homing attack from the actual 3D titles. This shield helps with trying to land jumps on enemies, and if you try to lock on when there isn't an enemy nearby, it just makes you go back down like a regular jump. That kinda sucks that it couldn't gain any insane speed like the Sonic Adventure homing attacks and all that. But hey, at least you can visit Tails and Knuckles in each stage. They send you to this game's special stages. And across the different versions of Sonic 3D Blast, the special stages are basically the only thing that's different other than the soundtrack. The Genesis version has a mess for the eyeballs, the PC version has this mess for the ears, and I wasn't able to play the Saturn version because of my current game collection. Maybe if I make a huge retrospective of the Sonic series sometime in the future, I might be able to play it by then. But then again, I'm probably never going to be able to do that retrospective in the first place. It's not like that I haven't done Sonic Colors Ultimate. Well, I guess from here on out, I might as well talk about the zones. First, we got Green Grove. Like any opening Sonic level, it lets you get used to the controls, and it is definitely needed because of the way that Sonic 3D Blast is with the isometric perspective. And it's just okay. It's not really that memorable to me. None of the stages really are because they all have this checkerboard design. The boss is pretty lame. It's just basically what a 3D version of the Wrecking Ball fight from Sonic 1 would be, but instead of a Wrecking Ball, it's just a bouncing ball instead. Oh, but it has spikes on it, so it's a little bit more detailed, guys! Next we got Rusty Ruins. This level is actually pretty annoying. There's this where Sonic has to spin, but not spin dash, just straight up twirly spin to break certain blocks. How does the spin dash not break these? It just makes the spin dash completely useless in this game, other than knocking you around like it's Sonic Labyrinth again. And also, this is when some of the actual crap platforming jumps were introduced in this game, and the only time that it was in this game. Just another classic, horrible difficulty balance. And I just talked about difficulty balance last video. I guess not Sonic 3D Blast difficulty balance, but whatever. Next we got Spring Stadium. Honestly, this level is fun enough. Sure, maybe it's pretty annoying to get bounced around a lot, but I enjoyed it enough. It's just okay. And the boss here is actually pretty okay. Sure, it's pretty easy to do. It's kind of like the bouncing ball fight from Green Grove again, but I don't really care. I'm stupid and I like it. Next, we got Diamond Dust Zone. This is my favorite zone in Sonic 3D Blast. Sure, the ice physics are pretty annoying like any ice physics are in a video game, but I like the gimmicks of Sonic becoming frozen, then he goes flying everywhere. I like the random snowman enemies, except for their attacks are like really annoying. But overall, Diamond Dust is fun to me. I'm not good at explaining things. I should not have the right to make content. And then immediately after the best zone in the game, we got the worst zone in the game. Volcano Valley. The fire is so annoying. There's not enough fire shields to spread around in this level. There might be like one, but that's it. And then if you take damage in fire, the birds just start flying in the air and you don't know where they are because of how the isometric angle works. And then they just annoyingly fly, never come towards you, very rarely. I got soft locked in this stage often because I suck at the game. And the boss is absurdly easy. Like, there's no need for it to be this easy when the entire stages were extremely hard. That doesn't even make any sense. Next we got Gene Gadget Zone, or Gene Gadget Zone, or Gene Gadget Zone, or Gadget of the Geen Zone, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. This one's just okay. It's not as bad as Volcano Valley. It's still kinda tough. Easy 5 out of 10. Except for the boss. Like, this seems like some Mario Party minigame for a boss. And next, we got the final zone, called Panic Puppet. I don't really like this stage. It kinda sucks. Not as bad as Volcano Valley, of course. And for some reason, all the birds are now in these tubes instead of the enemies. So I got completely trolled when the enemies just don't have birds in them. And with that, after Panic Puppet, if you happen to get all the Chaos Emeralds in this game, you get the secret final boss. Nope, you don't get Supersonic, you just get a secret final boss without the ability to use Supersonic. Come on, man. Sonic and Knuckles had both Supersonic and a secret final boss for getting the Chaos Emeralds. That's just really lame. But with that, that was Sonic 3D Blast. Overall, it seems like that I really hate it in many ways, but I don't really hate it. It's just something about it that's just really special overall, even though that the game just kinda sucks. And I feel like lots of people out there can agree with me on that. Like, I know the game is bad, but I don't think it's bad overall. At least that's what I think. If you absolutely hate it, then I guess I wouldn't really blame you for it. But for the Genesis version of Sonic 3D Blast, there was an official, unofficial remaster of it. In the PC version of Sega Genesis Classics, there's an actual mod made by one of the developers of Sonic 3D Blast that actually tweaks some things, like a better camera, being able to see more. Supersonic was added, a password system to save your game. The flickies have a higher chance of coming back to you faster when you take damage. Just lots of little tweaks that make the experience a lot better. It's just too bad that the Saturn version and PC version didn't get this kind of treatment, but at that point you're already playing a better version, while it's not really the better version at the same time, because it doesn't have these tweaks. But overall, the Sonic 3D Blast Director's Cut is probably my personal favorite way to play Sonic 3D Blast. Unless if I could finally own the Saturn version of Sonic 3D Blast. Well, with that, that was Sonic 3D Blast. 3D Blast will always be pretty special to me. I'm stupid and I think that it should be considered a mainline Sonic game. But clearly that's never going to happen because Sega didn't re-release it in the Sonic Origins collection in any given way. But you know what? Even if it isn't considered mainline, I don't care. It's fun to look back on for such a odd release. Well, in a nutshell, why was this game made? Why was the Sega Saturn version made? Why was the PC version made? Why were the soundtracks different even though that the Saturn version could have just been remixed versions of the Genesis soundtrack? Why am I even talking about this game in the first place? Why am I still going on?